Let's talk about the normal distribution. So, what we mean by that is when we're talking about data that we've collected or sourced, often big data sets will plot or chart in a way that looks like this curve you see here. And we call this the normal distribution curve. And there are some things about our data and normal distribution that are common to sort of all of these normal distribution type curves. First thing is that the mean, or the average, the median scores, and the middle, and the mode, which is the most frequent scores, are all approximately the same. They're all kind of in the center here of our normal distribution curve. So your average, your middle score, and your mode are all going to be somewhere around the middle of our data, approximately. The curve, as you can see, it's symmetrical. So in other words, it's the same on both sides. It's kind of like, mirror reflected if you opened it up like that. So the right-hand side is kind of symmetrical to the left-hand side. So normal distribution is symmetrical. The majority of the data is located in the center. You can see in this shaded section that, looking at our chart, most of our data, the biggest clump of it, all fits in this middle section here. So that's another attribute of the normal distribution. Standard deviations are what we use to measure the spread or to define our distribution. Now, we'll talk about it in a future video a little bit more, but you'll see these vertical lines as they go along here that's sort of breaking this up into strips. Each one of those strips is one standard deviation. So from my middle out to this first line, which says one standard deviation. That's how we sort of define the spread of a normal distribution. And finally, there are asymptotes at the tails. Now, if you remember from other videos, an asymptote is where our line sort of approaches the axis and gets closer and closer and closer, but it never really touches it and never goes below it. So we say, looking at our curve here, you can see how it approaches the line, then it kind of flattens out and will continue to do so. We call that an asymptote. So they're the 5 key features of a normal distribution of data. These 3 are probably your most important ones here, and particularly this idea about being symmetrical with most of the data in the middle. So that is your intro to the normal distribution.